Why, hello there, Nice Tale here. Today I'm bringing you, well, but before that, I hope you have a good day. I'm hoping this finds you well, and I hope you enjoy what you see. Consider liking, subscribing, consider leaving thoughts down below, all that good stuff. What do we got here? We got the Real Steel Griffin. This is a summary of a knife I have done a full review on. This is a budget model from Real Steel in 154 cm, and in this case, blue micarta, which I actually quite like. The color blue here, it's very, very blue. It's not like a washed out or anything. This is a good knife. This is a very interesting knife. There's definitely some angles. I don't know how people feel about some of these angles. They look kind of strange with some of the way it's been done, especially with that giant weird pocket clip on there. But it works. It does. It works a lot better than you think. As I said, I have done a full review. This is the summary, shorter. The full review will be linked down below and everything like that if you care to check that out. But I'm going to keep this nice and simple. Clean drop point blade, full flat grind, pretty darn nice and thin, good sharpening tool and plunge grind. The button I think the button acts as the stop here, so no problem with sharpening the knife. Jimping. Jimping is actually not the best type of jimping, but wow. Like, I'm reconsidering saying that just this thin, like, super wire jimping is the best. It's good, and it's consistently better, but this is great. Sticky, functional, good stuff there. There is a choke-up position. It does feel a little bit awkward because it's just kind of a slope in. However, with the jimping giving you good lock-in position, it's definitely usable. Actuation is via, well, button lock, or this rather unusual shape, which is surprisingly more practical than you might think. When you go to finger flick it, it angles your thumb right into it, and when you go to reverse flick it, it also sort of angles your finger right where you need it to go. So they've taken things into consideration. Carson design. The button is kind of a big housing on there. It's kind of a design element, which is cool. It's fine. No big deal there. Works just fine. It has a secondary lock. The secondary lock on this one is a little bit like wiggly, but it only works in the open position, and it definitely functions. So no problems there. Just, it's a little bit, feels light, kind of. But I've not actually had any problems with it, so no big deal. There are tons of chamfers on this micarta, and thankfully so. Honestly, they really did think about this. The chamfers are in the perfect position to make this kind of odd-shaped handle really work. It's just a lot more comfortable than you might think. Big, long grip length. You're definitely not going to have a problem with this. I believe the blade is about 3.5 inches. It's got a pretty decent sized handle for the blade, but you do actually get in there pretty good for length. The logo, on a budget knife, I don't mind the logo up there, and honestly, it's done small enough that it's not taking up. I mean, if it was written all the way across there, I wouldn't like it, but that's fine. It is on bearings. There is a stop pin for the open position. It is got actually full steel liners in here, so despite that, actually, it's not really heavy. It's a pretty reasonably lightweight knife. Of course, as I said, the full specs are in the full review if you care to see that, and the actual weight and everything in there. Backspacer, body screw, it's basically just got these two holding it together. No problems. You've got a big old pocket clip. It is unfortunately not reversible because, of course, I mean, button locks are pretty ambidextrous. That's dog. So, sorry left-handed people, but I think it would kind of be ugly if this is reversible. I mean, it would be a big giant hole there. The pocket clip itself is odd. It's not deep carry, but it's not super shallow. It's kind of medium depth carry. It looks big, intrusive, kind of strange, and honestly, it works better than you'd think. In the standard position, you sort of just wrap around it. I do feel the tip a little bit, but it's pretty comfortable, honestly. If you want something that looks a bit strange and out there, while still hitting all the marks of a good knife shape, this is something to consider. Dog. Very comfortable in the hand. Even the choke-up position, sort of like I fall in a position on my hands where it just works. It does. It just does work. And fortunately, there's actually not too bad of a flat on the end of this thing, so it goes in and out of the pocket pretty decently. Overall, the real steel Griffin, I think, is this the... They don't call this one the Pro, do they? I don't know. It's a very reasonable budget knife coming in under that $75 budget territory, so this is definitely something, if you like the aesthetic of this, a slightly unusual look to it, this is actually worth checking out. This is a solid budget knife. I like this one. There is a more premium version, I think in M390 or S90 in titanium, if you care to see that. I'm personally very content with just having the budget version. One thing I will say, it is ground a bit off center, so that can definitely happen. That's not like the end of the world or anything like that, but just note that can certainly be a thing. Beyond that, yeah, it's a perfectly solid and great budget knife. There's not much else to say, alright? It's strange looking, but deceptively straightforward in knife shape, honestly. So, oh, it's also stain washed and covered with tons of gunk because I was using this. I put off the review of this one for a long time because I lost it. It was out in my back porch, just hidden under a bunch of pile stuff. I opened up a bunch of rock salt and stuff with the blade, and well, I suppose if anything's going to cause rust, that would be doing it, and it didn't. So that's good. 14C28N, good corrosion resistant steel. I don't think I have anything else to say. So, I'm going to end things here. Just a nice little showcase of this knife, a little summary. Check out the full review. Check out some other stuff on the channel if you would be so kind, or if you would care to. Maybe drop a like and subscription. Always like hearing from people what they want to see. If there's a knife out there that you know's coming out that you want to get some input on before you do, mention it and I'll try and see what I can do to get it in. Who knows, right? As long as it's not like... Don't be like, oh, can you please check out the new Herman knife that's $3,000? No, I cannot. I have a Herman knife. I can review that one again if you want, but you can check that review out. But no, I can't just get that one in. But if there's a knife that's more reasonable coming out, I'll check it out. If you want me to get some impressions before you go and buy it, that's perfectly reasonable. Whatever I can do to help, basically. That'll be it for me. Thanks for watching. See you later.